All right, and here we are, another episode this week coming up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show live. I'm your host, David Burrows. As always, appreciate you joining me here. As always, got lots to talk about. But before we do, I want to just say hello and welcome once again. And we are broadcasting live in about 10 different places. So we're very grateful for that. And our newest place that we are broadcasting live to is the Live Video Hub. So I want to say thanks to our friend Stephen Healy, who, of course, if you watch often, know that he's in the United Kingdom and joins me here every Monday at noon on the Video Show Network side of things. And he started the Live Video Hub a few weeks ago. He's got over 100 shows that broadcast live on his page every week. So we're thankful to that as well. I hope you're having a great week. We've got lots to talk about. But before we do, I would appreciate it if you would take the time and share this video around to your personal timeline or your Twitter or wherever, so we can help spread some more of the word of what we're talking about here in Sarnia-Lambton. And what we're adding today for the first time that we're going to be doing, hopefully on a regular basis, we're going to be talking to somebody not from around here. We're going to be talking with Fonz Chamberlain later this afternoon. That's right, he is the Fonz. He's over in the United Kingdom as well. And he's a Cambridge historian, and he's going to talk to us about some of the history of Cambridge, and he's going to talk to you about how you can do research in your own town. And if you're a history buff, you're going to find it really interesting. Coming up first at 3:45, we'll have Heather Allen. She's going to join us. She's with Goodwill EKL, and they've got a golf tournament coming up and some other things as well. And she's going to talk to us about that. And if you haven't heard already, Bluewater BorderFest has announced who's coming to play in July 26th, 27th, 28th at Centennial Park again this year for Bluewater BorderFest. We were there live. The Video Show Network was there live with the announcements last week. And so we're going to be having Mark Perrin, who's one of the organizers for Bluewater BorderFest, joining us as well. Hi, Deb. See there now, Deb Lawrence, who's part of the Lacrosse Pacers. She has the right idea. She comes on and she says hello. So if you're watching this or wherever you're watching it from, please share your comments in the comments section below. Now, the trick to all of this is wherever you're watching from, in order for me to see your comments or your questions, you need to be watching live from the show page. So now it says TVSN World there. You can go there and see us, but come over to our page, the show Sarnia, and that's where you're going to see it. And like Deb, I'll be able to see your comments. Hey, Deb, hope you're having a great week. And speaking of Deb and the Pacers, let's talk about them. The Pacers, they've really been struggling this year. We've had all the home game coverage. We'll have the rest of the home game coverage again this year, or for the rest of this year, I should say. But this past weekend, they finally had another win. They come out on top over the London Blue Devils. 7-3 was the final score, and you can watch the replay of that also on our YouTube channel, TVSN World with Video Show Network on YouTube. So congratulations to the Pacers, got another win under their belt. They've been having a rough season, but they're not giving up. Then they continued on into Sunday and then fell back again, although it was really close, and I'm told very exciting. I wasn't there. I want to say thanks to my friend Roger Graham, who was broadcasting and the director and producer for live streaming the home game that day. Deb Lawrence is always there as well, and a full team that makes everything happen down there. But it was a close game against Windsor, but they did come up a couple of short, 11-9. We'll be back once again for the next home game as the Lacrosse Pacers will be taking on Niagara, so the Niagara Thunderhawks. And that's going to be on May the 26th, which is the next home game. And that'll be at 6 o'clock here in Point Edward at the Point Edward Memorial Arena. And you'll be able to watch it live on the Video Show Network, on our YouTube channel. And just go to our website, tvsn.ca. And when the Pacers have their own section there on our website, we'll be able to broadcast that live. And if you missed any of the games, go to tvsn.ca and to the Pacers section there, and you'll be able to watch all of the replays of all of the home games, and that's only and exclusively on the Video Show Network. And we're thankful to the Pacers for inviting and allowing us into their home for every home game so that we can bring it to all of you. And if you keep watching, I'm going to have some tickets to give away. If you're here in Sarnia, you'll have some tickets to go down and see the Pacers play some home game. I'm telling you, it's really super fast, exciting lacrosse action at the junior B level. We're rooting for the junior B Pacers to get some more wins under their belt because they've got a lot of talent on the team, but we'll see what happens. Again, May 26th when they're back home. You can also go to their website, jrpacers.com, for more information on that. All right, moving on. Hey, who doesn't like a good movie, and a free movie at that? When's the last time you went out of the house and had a free movie? Not at the local theater, but you can go to the local Sarnia Library Public Theater here tonight, and The Incredibles is going to be playing. I believe it starts about 7 o'clock. So head on down to the public library on a Monday night. What else would you be doing, right? If you don't have anything going on, get a hold of the kids, take them down there, because free with the kids is always a great idea. They're going to have popcorn and stuff, and they're playing The Incredibles, the original, the first one, The Incredibles. I might sneak down there myself because I'm an Incredibles fan. Are you an Incredibles fan? Again, that's tonight. Free movie night at the Library Theater, the Sarnia Public Library Theater here in Sarnia downtown on Christina Street. Last week, we had Rob Jenkins from K106.3 and Aaron Zimmer also join us. These are the guys that have taken over the 3-on-3 Hockey Challenge, and that's coming up on Saturday, June the 2nd at Canatera Park this year. They've got the center part of the parking lot, so to speak, to be able to bring you the 3-on-3 Hockey Challenge. Again, June the 2nd. Now, Zimmer and Rob Jenkins from K106.3 are putting that on. Told me you got till May 26th to get your team in there and registered and ready to go. And all ages. They would even take an old guy like me, they said. But they don't have a section for me because they just know how terrible I would be at it. But all levels of Hockey Challenge are available to be there to play, and they're trying to match everything up. They're even going to have an elite area. So if you are a pro, or you think you're a pro, and you want to take on some really big tough guys, you can do that. And the public is welcome to go down there to Canatera Park on June the 2nd as well. They're going to have hot dogs and stuff. Rotary's going to be there doing the barbecuing. And they're also supporting the Stephanie Shaw Memorial Ball Hockey Tournament that's coming up later this year as well. So go online. 3-on-3 Hockey is the website, or just go on Facebook, 3-on-3 Hockey Challenge. And thanks again to Rob Jenkins and Aaron Zimmer who joined me here last week. And I'm going to try to get down there and see it as well. All right. Well, if you are a Tragically Hip fan, and if you're not, why not? But if you are a Tragically Hip fan, you're going to love the Practically Hip tribute to the next best thing to the Tragically Hip, I'm told. I have seen them. They are fantastic. The Twisted Arm Restaurant and Bar here in Sarnia, owners Jen and Tyler, are like the biggest Tragically Hip fans I've ever met. I think if they could have called their Twisted Arm the Tragically Hip Bar, they probably would have done it, but they are huge fans, and they're celebrating 1 year, the Twisted Arm, over by the new Giant Tiger in that plaza there, the new Tepperman. Stop in. Jennifer, myself, and my son Jason, we stopped in there last week and had something to eat, and great service, great staff in there. But celebrating 1 year in business for the Twisted Arm. Congratulations to all the staff down there, and of course Jen and Tyler. And they're having the Practically Hip on a Sunday. And what's cool about them having it on a Sunday is they're never open on a Sunday. They believe that that's family day, but they're making an exception so they can have the Practically Hip to celebrate. Just go online. You'll be able to find that as well. Sunday, Practically Hip at the Twisted Arm. All right. Also, if you're a speaker or you would like to speak about something of importance, Ignite Sarnia is back, and they've got some speakers coming up that are going to have about 5 minutes to tell their story. We did this last year as well. Julie Jenkins and Megan Renault, and who else is in there? Karen Minty is in there as well. Those are the three. I think I got them all. They're part of putting this on. Ignite Sarnia. It's going to happen at the Mix Lounge this year, in the nice back room that the Mix Lounge has there. Very nice place as well to hang out. And we're going to have a bunch of the speakers. And I'll be there live broadcasting it as well as we did last year. So looking forward to being able to do that. And you can come out and watch it at the Mix, or you'll be able to watch it live. That's happening on May the 22nd at 7 o'clock. Looking forward to seeing who the speakers are. Always interesting for that. All right. Crime Stoppers, like any other nonprofit. This is something I want to make clear because I think a lot of people think that Crime Stoppers has all this money, but they are like any other nonprofit organization. They're a nonprofit. They have to go out and raise money in order to be able to provide the service that they do to our community. And they have bowling tournaments, golf tournaments, and for the second time a virtual bail in jail. That's right, virtual bail in jail. It's a virtual world, so why not? And last year, the Video Show Network, we were there broadcasting it live as well, and they had some folks from the community that were around and had to bail themselves out of this virtual bail in jail. And Judge Brigham Justice, if you can see in the picture there. So we're doing it again this year. It's going to be May the 30th from noon to 3 in the afternoon. And here's some of the characters. Let's take a look. Let's see if I can bring this up. Here's some of the really awful looking characters that are going to be up for bail, possibly, including local police officer Giovanni Sottosani, and he wrote this, he pretends to be 100% Italian. They're saying that he's not 100% Italian, and that's part of his crime in there as well. Some other locals in there as well. Again, going to be part of this year's second annual virtual bail in jail. We'll be broadcasting that live on the Video Show Network because we're getting around everywhere, right? We're busy. So you'll be able to check that again on our website, tvsn.ca. All right, boy, that's a lot to talk about, and we've still got a whole 45 minutes left to go. We've got 3 of our guests coming up here, but first one we're going to bring in here, she's a busy lady, so I'm really grateful that she's been able to have the time to join us here, but she's from Goodwill EKL, and of course another great nonprofit here in Sarnia that needs your support all the time, and they've got a golf tournament coming up because we're finally in that season, right? So she's sitting in the lobby here. Heather is ready. 3, 2, 1. She's going to pop in the lobby here. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
Fantastic. That worked nice and easy after all, didn't it?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. I know you do have a lot on the go, but I guess it's good if you're busy.
Yes, we enjoy being busy, and yes, we do have lots on the go. It's our 85th anniversary this year, and we have many things happening across Essex, Kent, and Lambton counties. So yeah, it's a good time.
85 years. Wow. How did that happen?
Yes, that's for sure. We are the oldest Goodwill in Canada, proud to say, and starting back in 1933, and done nothing but grow and evolve since then. Yeah,
fantastic. Congratulations to you and everybody at Goodwill there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's talk about Goodwill before we get into the golf tournament. I think, automatically when we say Goodwill Industries, we just think, the Goodwill store and donate clothing and that sort of stuff, which is fantastic. But there's really more to Goodwill than just the clothing side, right?
There certainly is, and it's really a complex animal, so to speak, when you really see how everything goes beyond just coming into our store or by donating at one of our attended donation centers. What's important for people to know is that when you donate to Goodwill, over 85% of the revenue that is generated actually goes right back into job skills and training programs for those that are in all 3 communities that we serve.
All 3 communities, and that's a large community. I know the need is quite demanding. How long ago was it that all these 3 communities kind of got together and said, let's put it under one umbrella?
Well, we took over the Essex community back in early to mid 2000, and we've been just sort of waiting to be able to grow there until we can make sure that we have all of the building blocks in place. So we opened our major store in 2013 on McDougall, and we are very excited to be opening our 3rd store in Windsor in June of this year, actually. So that's something that's underway right now, and we're excited to be opening. So
yeah, that's exciting too. That means growth, and I guess in one way it means there's more of a demand going on, which it's sort of both sides of the coin. One, it's good to see the growth because we're helping people, but at the other side of the coin, because of the growth, people are really in need more.
Well, people are certainly in need more, but also what is nice to see is that people are choosing to donate as opposed to having things go to the landfill, which is extremely nice to see that we're trying to provide an environmental service as well. And I think as our young people are growing up, they're certainly being more involved and being more environmentally friendly. So we're able to help people in the community and create more jobs because of that.
Yeah, I was just going to. That was my next part of. How does this affect employment with the way Goodwill is being able to provide these services?
Well, we ourselves have grown in an organization. We are at almost 300 staff across all 3 communities right now. And we served over 1,500 people across our communities last year through our Employment Ontario services and Ontario Disability Supports programs. So we're very proud of our results, and serving thousands every year. Those are numbers of actual placed into employment, but certainly thousands that come through our doors for other services. So yeah, it's been a great year.
Yeah. Now, to touch on that, and I just so we can clarify, and I hope I'm not catching you off guard too much here, but so a local store here that was over by Krabby Joe's here in Sarnia.
Yes, the London Road Plaza.
Mm-hmm. That's closed.
We have closed that down. We closed it down at the end of March. And really the main purpose of restructuring was so that we can prepare for our new development in the plaza. So our career center is going to be getting a brand new home within the London Road Plaza. The London Road Clearance Center itself, with the increase of the minimum wage, was struggling a bit. So what we were able to do was we were able to move all of those jobs across the Attended Donation Center here at Wellington and to our Michigan Ave store. So there wasn't any jobs lost. We're able to keep people working and just make sure that we can keep our overhead costs down as much as possible.
Fantastic. Well, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I kind of knew that, but I think the public kind of saw, oh, they're closing. What's wrong? Or,
Well, exactly. And I appreciate the opportunity, because that's always great to be able to make sure we can clarify for folks.
Yeah. And nobody lost any jobs. Things were restructured to make it work for everybody. And that's fantastic. But, you make a point in there about with the new minimum wage. As a nonprofit, you really have very similar struggles that, say, a small business would in our community.
Yes, we really do. And as I said, we're almost 300 strong now. So the increase in the minimum wage is certainly significant for us. And we need to make sure that we're able to, as I say, keep people working. That's what our mission is to be changing people's lives through the power of work. So it's important that we do everything we can to make sure that people are still coming to work every day and no one is losing their job.
Yeah, fantastic. Clothing is obviously, it seems like that's obviously the main thing that people donate, or at least that's my perspective. But I know when I go into the Goodwill store, I see toys and I see furniture. I see a lot of really nice stuff. And I guess it's got to be challenging. Even though this stuff is donated, there's still a cost to being able to put it out there, paying the employees and insurance and all that, the whole thing of running a business. Is it still challenging? Is one of those challenges keeping those prices at a very reasonable and affordable price for everybody?
It is certainly a challenge. And I think one of the biggest challenges is making sure that people understand the benefit, or we hope that they find the benefit as choosing Goodwill to come in as one of their places to shop. I know there's many opportunities for people through different thrift organizations. One thing that we like to try to make sure everybody knows is every employee or every staff person that they see working is getting paid competitively when they come into our stores. We do not have a volunteer base that's working in the store, which is very different to some other thrift shop models.
Right.
But we are a social enterprise that's employing staff and making sure that they're supporting their families. So that's one of the main things for people to really know.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's nobody's being taken advantage of here for being there, and they do. They have families and everybody else, just like everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. There must be some kind of a criteria of what you will and what you won't accept. As far as donation, I think it's important do people try to get rid of their garbage to you sometimes?
Well, it does happen, Dave. Yes, it does, which is unfortunate for us, as certainly that increases our costs for removal, as it would for anyone else. There's some items that we cannot take due to health and safety regulations as well, and some things due to certain safety standards that we're not allowed to resell. So when it comes to those types of items, we do partner with other organizations as well. And for example, if it comes to an infant car seat, for an example, that we're just not, due to safety, we're not allowed to resell, we will work with other not-for-profits in the community to make sure they can get into the hands of some people that are in real need. And anything else that we can't use, we partner with folks like Habitat for Humanity and other organizations, so that we're, again, trying to keep things out of the landfill and trying to make sure that people who are really in need have an opportunity to get these types of items.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. So you have other local partnerships then?
We do. That's very important for us. Not only other not-for-profit partnerships, but just community partners in general. I think that's what everybody needs, whether you are in the not-for-profit world or on the corporate side. I think we're always better and when we can work together. And we certainly have some really great partnerships and friendships in the community.
Oh, fantastic. Now, when you say partnerships, you must welcome new partnerships as well. I mean, do local businesses here in the community, or any of the community, I guess, where Goodwill's at, do they reach out to Goodwill to offer, like, hey, we're going to have a barbecue today, or what can we do to help?
One of the things actually that we have really sort of rallied with in the last few years that our partners tend to help with the most would be holding a clothing drive, for an example. So if you're in an office of whether it's 5 people or 50 people, holding a clothing drive and collecting donations at your place of work is something very common, and folks will call me and ask how they can help out, and I say, do you know what, that's one of the main things you could do for us is hold a clothing drive, and we'll provide you with the Goodwill donation bags and give you a toolkit, and they will gather up donations for us, and we'll send a truck around gladly to pick them up.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you sort of already we just got to call you up and you just say, here's how you can do it. And
exactly.
So I don't have to, I see it nice and simple. I like that.
It's very simple. We have, like I say, we have a 1, 2, 3 toolkit for you. We keep everything very easy, and we'll come by and pick up your donations from you and keep it simple.
Oh, very good. Is there a type of item that maybe you could use more of that doesn't get enough attention as far as donations go, or is it pretty balanced, or how does that look?
Always our number one item that we are in need of is clothing.
Okay.
Clothing is something that we're always in need of. It's what our shoppers are in need of the most. And certainly through the winter time, for an example, is something that our communities through Essex, Kent, and Lambton are all in need of the most. And it's something that turns over the fastest. So that would be something that we're always looking for. We do, obviously, we accept furniture, we accept other great electronics. You'll always be surprised at what you might come across when you come in our store. You'll just never know.
I can tell you that I pop in regularly, and I'm always looking for microphones and stuff. And I've found some of the mics that I use for my production in there. And you're right. There's a lot of hidden treasures that can be found as well. What's it like? Who gets to decide on, or is there a process on? Okay, I look at this piece of furniture, this clothing, and I decide what the price point looks like on that.
Well, unless it's a very unusual item or it's something that might be deemed an antique or a collectible, but most items you'll find have a standard price. So clothing, for an example, yes, we might have certain boutique items that might come in if it's a particular label, for an example. But, you know, our shirts are all going to be the same price. Our jeans are always the same price.
Right.
A furniture item, you know, a 3-drawer dresser is one price unless it's, you know, pretty unusual or is an antique or something to that effect. But we try to keep things set across the board. Maybe there might be one time you're going to come in and that table might be $25, and the next one looks like it maybe could have got, you know, more value for it. But we need to keep things moving, and we want to get things into the hands of people as quickly as we can. Yeah,
because you can run out of storage pretty quick, I would imagine.
That can sometimes be the biggest downfall for us. If we're not processing and getting things out on the floor fast enough, yes, it can turn into a little bit of a nightmare for us. So we need to always be moving and always turning things over as quickly as possible.
Do you ever get, you must get some, you keep saying the word antique in there. Mm-hmm. Do you ever come across some stuff that people go, wow, like this is like super valuable? How do we sell this, or do we, or does the person even realize what they got rid of? Because I mean, you don't take my name when I drop a donation off, so you don't really know where it comes from, right?
No, that's right. And we will have things, collector figurines. We have art sometimes that will come in. And just as you said, I think sometimes, whether someone is cleaning out a closet or maybe someone else's home, they don't necessarily know what they have donated. That can certainly happen. And like I said, unless it's something very unusual, we try to move things out on the floor as quickly as possible. If it's a collector's item, then no, we will do a little investigating on our own to make sure that we're respecting the item itself. But no, there's always great opportunity to find those little hidden treasures in our store for sure.
So you must get those regulars that come in and are looking for those ones.
Oh yes, we have some customers that are in daily. We have some that are in weekly. And then we have others that just always like to see what sort of vintage item they might be able to find on the racks.
Fantastic. Well, thanks that's a lot of great information. I appreciate that. Before we wrap up, of course, we've got another reason we have you here. We've got a golf tournament coming up here that's sponsored by Libro.
Yes, Libro Credit Union, we have partnered with for this golf tournament for over 15 years now, proud to say. And myself, along with a committee of folks from Libro, work together on this tournament. And year after year, they never disappoint. They bring great talent and enthusiasm to the table. And Jamie Carson certainly runs an excellent tournament and creates a lot of fun for everyone.
Yeah. So when is this happening, and how can people get signed up? You must give us all the details.
I'll give you all the details. It is taking place on Tuesday, June the 12th at the Sarnia Golf and Curling Club. It is a shotgun start at 8:15. It is a scramble, of course, as most of these tournaments are. Yep. It is $175 to participate. It is $700 for a foursome.
Okay.
And we have some other great sponsors as well that present along with Libro that we certainly like to thank every year. Blackburn Radio is a big partner of ours. That helps get the word out. And Steves and Rosema helps us out every year. They're our meal sponsor this year. So I just wanted to say thank you to both of them. But you can register and do everything right online at www.librogolf.ca.
Okay.
And you can choose from however you would like to golf, whether you want to register as an individual or a foursome. It's easy to do. You can arrange for your payment right online. And the folks at Libro will set up your foursome for you.
Fantastic. Do you get to golf that day, or do they make you work?
Well, I've done both. I'm hoping I might be able to golf a few holes this year. It'll all depend on how ready we are for the day of. But like I said, the folks at Libro are usually pretty ready for the golf day.
Right. And are you a golfer?
I wouldn't say I'm a golfer. I enjoy golfing. I don't tend to get out as much as I would like. But
there you go. You like to walk 18 holes once in a while.
Yeah, I do, for sure.
Fantastic. Heather, is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
I just want to say thank you to the community for 85 years. And I hope that you will keep us in mind as your charity of choice for donating your gently used goods. And if people are available on this Wednesday, May 16th, we are hosting the Business After 5 event with the Chamber of Commerce and our partners at Select Path. Who's presenting that event on our behalf on Wednesday night. We'll be at the Riding Club. We do have a special that evening that everyone will be able to attend for free, which is a little unusual, but we have organized that, and you just have to be 19 years or older to attend.
Fantastic. Heather, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time on your busy day to share all this. And I think we got some really good, important information out there as well. And hopefully we can get some more golfers. And I may see you at the Business After 5 on Wednesday.
That would be great. Thanks for having me, Dave.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Take care.
All right, well, there you go. Heather Allen from Goodwill EKL here in Sarnia-Lambton talking to us. Fantastic services out there. And I would say it was important. I wanted to make sure that some things were understood about Goodwill and how they take care of things and their structure and how they support our community and how you can get out and support them as well. You can find them on Facebook. They're very active there as well, Goodwill EKL Industries, and donate some clothing today. And, you might be surprised if you don't go. I'm twice a week in the Goodwill store. I'm not even kidding. And I find some really cool stuff. And some of my jackets come from there as well. I'm not going to lie. So get out and you can support them at Goodwill EKL. And Heather, once again, thanks for joining us here. And if you're a golfer, and even if you're not a golfer, just borrow some clubs from your neighbor or rent them. I don't know, but get out and have a good time. I do know Jamie Carson from Libro. He loves his golf, so he's going to make sure that everybody is looked after. And I know Goodwill is very grateful to all the sponsors that are supporting them here in Sarnia-Lambton for their golf tournament as well. So thanks again, Heather Allen, for all your hard work and being here today. And thanks to all of you for watching this segment. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to check in with my next guest, and we'll be back here in just a few moments. Stay with me. All right, we're back after that short break. Thanks so much for your patience there. I'm just checking on one of my guests, and it doesn't look like Mark Perrin's maybe not going to make it here today, but we'll catch up with him another time if he's, I think he might be having some technical issues. But Bluewater BorderFest is coming here to Sarnia July 26th, 27th, and 28th. It's second year. Last year, its inaugural year, had some success, and this year they're adding 3 nights with 3 different genres. They will have country night and rock night and modern rock night, and Bluewater BorderFest is excited to let you know what was happening last Tuesday. Last Tuesday had some things happening down at Tourism Sarnia-Lambton, or sorry, Thursday I meant. Tourism Sarnia-Lambton, they were down there with the announcements of some of the bands that are coming to Bluewater BorderFest this year, and they're going to be adding some more as well. But right now, we'll tell you, as far as we know, what's coming down there. The C.J. Mitchell is going to be there with his band. Drew Jacobs is there. Drake White is going to be there as part of the country performances. Some other locals will be there as well. And also on Rock Night, The Guess Who is going to be there. Looking very excited to see that as well. And one of my personal favorites, Honeymoon Suite, is going to be there live as well. And local musicians, Jabrito, are going to be supporting act, opening act for these two bands. I know Tony Zangoli from Pickers Alley is the drummer for Jabrito. He is the biggest Honeymoon Suite fan of all time, so I know he's opened for them a few times, but he can never get enough of them. And Aces High is also going to be there performing as well. So again, the Guess Who, Honeymoon Suite, Jabrito, and Aces High for the second night. And then some modern rock, the Arkells are coming to Sarnia. Yes, fantastic that the Arkells have made a deal with Bluewater BorderFest to be there. Matt Mays is going to be there as well. That's exciting. Rodney James, Dave Russell, and another act soon to be announced. We were maybe hoping for that today, but we'll check in with our friend Mark Perrin, who's one of the organizers of Bluewater BorderFest. He's okay. We're just having some technical issues. The Video Show Network and myself, we will be there all weekend as we are one of the official media partners for Bluewater BorderFest this year, again, as we were last year. And we're going to have some behind-the-scenes interviews with some of these artists, and we're going to have lots of fun prizes to be able to give away. I'll be emceeing the weekend as well. So stay tuned, because we're going to be giving away free tickets between now and all the way up into July for this event. We'll be giving away more than just a pair. We've got lots of things that we'll be announcing. And thanks to Bluewater BorderFest and Mark Perrin for allowing us to be a media partner again this year. And we'll be live streaming, again, behind the scenes stuff that nobody else will have. It'll just be us. So thanks again for that. All right. We're jumping ahead here a little bit, but that's okay, because this guy could probably talk for hours, and I could probably listen to him for hours. He is a historian, and specifically, he is the Cambridge historian. He's from the United Kingdom, and he's in the lobby. Thanks. We're going to take him. Here he comes right now. Fonz Chamberlain, thanks so much for jumping in a bit early there, Fonz.
Yeah, that's all right.
And I did have people asking me behind the scenes. They said, "You really having the Fonz on?" I was like,
"Yeah, you can see it that way." Yeah, no, but my name's really on my birth certificate Fonz, so I'm the real Fonz.
How many times do you hear that in your lifetime?
I've lost count.
But I did see an article recently about you and your son. Happy days are here again.
Yeah. I went for a period of a little while back with depression. My son was born with major heart problems. Yeah. And it sort of, it knocked me right down, really. And I went for a really rough puff of depression, and it really hit me. But as you learn to deal with it, I felt I had no hope. But then I realised, actually, I like history in Cambridge. Always had done as a child. Then I used that as a focus, and that helped pick me up, and I've made a career out of it now. So there's sort of like, I know, sort of give people support, really, because it was a really hard time for me, and hopefully my story that was in that article would be an inspiration to others.
Yeah, well, it's quite a story. I know you shared it with me before, and I guess you really, in the beginning, obviously you wouldn't have seen yourself making a living at what you love right now.
No. When I was at school, I used to say to my history teacher that I'm going to be an historian, I'm going to work on the radio, and then I'm going to have a TV program all about Cambridge history. She goes, "Fonz, it's just a lesson we have to teach you. You're not going to make a career out of it." So if she's looking in, I did.
You're one of those stories that the teacher said you can't do it, right? That's terrible too. But have you been able to find that teacher and go back to her?
No.
It's probably not worth it anyway.
No, I did actually. The funny thing is, one of my other teachers, I had a maths teacher, and I was a manager of a radio station. So I was like looking for new talent and stuff. And we were auditioning new people because we'd like training them to come up and start small. Because that's how I started on radio. I started getting news articles ready for the breakfast show and built my way up. And we're looking for new people, training them up, giving them little bits on shows. And one of the people that come along was my old maths teacher. And he had to ask me, could he have a job on the station? But I had great pleasure, actually. I know it was a bit cruel, actually, turning him down.
Why, did he fail you?
Yeah, well, he wasn't very good at maths at school, so like I failed maths at school because I never really learned anything that he taught me. So I felt.
So he was just a bad teacher.
Yeah. So bad teachers can be bad at radio as well.
Yeah, there you go. It's funny how life comes around, in a circle like that sometimes, right?
Yeah.
What is it about? I mean, I like history. I love history, actually. I wouldn't say that I'm a history buff, as far as I just gotta know. Like Stephen and I did our show earlier today, and we were talking about you, and we said, but I really enjoy history, and I enjoy a really good story. And I guess is that fair to say what history is? Is it's a story?
Yeah, it is. Basically, what always fascinates me is like history is today as well, and you think, I'm here today, but how did we get here? And then you start peeling the layers away. So like, okay, I'm standing here, but how did this street get to be here? And you work out how it got its name, then what buildings were there, then what shops, how they progressed, and this is how it all came. And you just get hooked by it. You find one thing, and then you find something else, and you find something else, and it's like, wow, did that really happen because of that? Is that called that because that's that? Is that there because they did that? And like, you really everything seems to make sense around you. It's brilliant, especially in Cambridge. There's so many stories in Cambridge.
Yeah, what is it about Cambridge that is exceptional?
I don't know. But I don't cover the university. There's a lot of people that cover the history of the universities, and I wanted to be completely different. Growing up in the city myself, being born in the city, like the actual town and the people, and not just the places, but there's some amazing characters in Cambridge, like people, and that's what really got me started. First of all, the very first time I actually got to do with anything to do with Cambridge history was through this book. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, hold it right up there. We'll put you full screen here for a second. And from Cambridge, one and all. Okay.
Yeah, it's by a bloke called Fred Unwin, and Fred, he was just a Cambridge. He was told that his books wouldn't sell, so he self-published them, and he took a little shopping trolley around Cambridge and all the villages, and he would not go home until he had sold 30 books a day. So he would stay out, rain, whatever, until he sold 30 books a day. He never made a profit out of it, nothing.
Did he ever make it home?
No, he did. He had experience working in places, I don't know about Betterware and stuff, so he'd done those. So he'd really done door-to-door sales. Okay. And it was brilliant. He wrote for 20 years books about Cambridge, his own experiences. And that was, when I was a kid, that's one of the first books I've got. And it includes the very first, just about the war, the very first bomb attack on Cambridge that happened in Vicarage Terrace. It was the night between the 18th and 19th of June 1940. And I didn't think Cambridge would have got bombed during the war. But what happened was a plane came over, and to lower its load, it just dropped it all on this street and killed 10 people. And then I took a walk down the street when I got a little bit older. Thinking, this is what it looks like now, but you wouldn't know this. And then I suddenly ignited, I want to find out why that's there, what's there. So it was Fred's book who really, first of all, got me hooked on the history of the city. And I got to meet him before he passed away, because he passed away just before he made 99. Just missed his birthday of 100 by a few weeks. And even then, he was an extraordinary. He was deaf, so you had to scream at him. But he was a brilliant character. So he was a character in his own rights, and he followed his dream. And he sort of inspired me. Well, if this guy can do it, I mean, he's a brilliant guy, right? And this is what he's done. He's told his story, and this is what I'm going to do with mine. So he made me see it was achievable.
Wow, what a neat story. Do you feel what is it about history that excites you, I guess, or turns you on about what keeps you going?
I don't know. I'm really strange. Like, somebody would get excited about getting a new iPhone or something, like the latest technology, like a kid in a sweet shop. If I see a photo of Cambridge that I haven't seen before, I'm like, wow, like completely. I just get, and I've never lost that buzz. I must have about 20,000 photos of Cambridge, old Cambridge.
20,000 photos.
Yeah, probably more. And there was a museum there. They asked me to look through their photos, like to help them, and they were in there and they were like going through the photo. I don't know where that is. I can tell. That's East Road, 1920. How do you know that? I just do. But you pick it up. By seeing other photos, you sort of like, okay, that photo was took around that time, and you learn by what shops and what places were in the area, what time period it was. So that's the 1920s, that's the 1930s. Sort of thing. So
you must have quite a filing cabinet to keep that all organized.
Yeah, lots of boxes of stuff and things. But I donated a lot of what I obtained to they got a collection in local library here, which is all archive stuff, and I donated a lot to them, but kept copies myself, like digital copies, but gave them the originals because they've got proper storage for it, where it would be kept and maintained properly, where I haven't, and it would get damaged. So I've kept digital copies and give them the masters.
What's that organizational thing behind you on the wall?
My wall.
Yeah.
I'm a bit. People say it's definitely me. I spent 3 weeks cutting newspapers up because I thought, could I put wallpaper up, paint it, or what? Nah, that's not me. I spent 3 weeks cutting newspapers up and sticking them to the wall. So it's 3 weeks. I don't know how many endless.
Oh, so that's not a bulletin board. That's like stuck to the wall.
Yeah, it's all stuck.
But that's cool. I think that's your personality then.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got in front of me. Do you know the TV series Doctor Who UK series, sci-fi show? I had them on VHS tapes, and of course the VHS tapes went out. I tried to sell them. Nobody wanted to buy them because nobody's got a VHS recorder. So I got all the covers and I stuck them all to the wall. So I've got in front of me all these video covers. I've got all posters down this stone. I'm always adding to it. But I've sort of like joined some of them together and made my own little news headlines.
Well, you'll never run out of things to do when you're in the history business too, right?
No, you always find. Well, even now, I never say to anybody's what I don't like is people say I'm an expert, because I don't think anybody's an expert in anything. People have got great knowledge. People have got great knowledge in something and passion and knowledge. Because even now, I've been doing this. I've been looking up stuff since I was young, but I always find out something new. I mean, there's always something that I don't know and adds to it. I think you're always, and I'm a bit bad as well, because when I sit on a bus or a train or something, somebody brings up somewhere in history, I say, go, excuse me, tell me a bit more, like, just leave that person alone, will you? Leave them alone. No, I want to know. And so I sit there chatting to random strangers.
Yeah, well, that's not that's networking too, right? You never know who you're going to meet and what it might lead to. And that's part of the excitement of what you do as well. Is you could probably wake up every day not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What's going to take you.
Definitely.
Is that part of the bug for you?
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. I sort of like come well known around Cambridge, so I find it hard because people in Cambridge, because of my name as well, more people know me than what I know. People come up, morning, Fonz. Okay, who are you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
well, that's a good problem to have if they're recognizing you. I guess that's part of what keeps you doing it for your living as well.
Yeah.
What for people who are watching? I mean, you're in the United Kingdom and we're over here in Canada. You're my first international guest on this show.
Yeah.
So, could you maybe just describe to my local audience the size of Cambridge and where it's located, et cetera?
It's in the east of England. It's not big as what people think. It's quite a small city. It's actually, strange thing about Cambridge is a city, but to be a city, you've got to have a cathedral, but Cambridge hasn't got a cathedral. So it's the only city in the United Kingdom without a cathedral. Ely's got one, but that's Cambridgeshire. It's not Cambridge city itself. So it's a city without a cathedral, and it's a fair size, but nowhere near probably cities in Canada and stuff. It's probably tiny. Probably
like what's the population?
I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's a few thousand.
Oh, so it's like 2,000, like 3,000 or 4,000. It's not 10,000.
No, it's about 10,000, something like that. But I can imagine it's quite small compared to.
Right, and that's where you're from.
Yeah, I was born there as well.
Oh, okay, and what did your parents do there?
My dad was a mechanic. My mum actually worked in the local hospital, Addenbrooke's Hospital, And I've got photos, quite funny, I've got photos of her working, and she's got cigarettes in hand walking around the hospital.
Times have changed.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
What's when did you get your first bug for history?
That was from Fred's book, reading that and finding out. It's a story about where I lived, really. And that's when I found out about the Vicarage Terrace and wanting to go and see where it was. And then it just snowballed from that, really. Yeah.
Now, when we talked about you being on the show, you'd mentioned you wanted to talk about how a person could do research about where they live.
Yeah. The thing is, if you're, say, the best way to start, say, if there's people out there wanting to research their area, what you could do, a good way to do it is probably pick a street out, look at a street and think, say, I'll tell you one in Cambridge, Burley Street in Cambridge. And think, just first question yourself, why is it called Burley Street or whatever street it is? And you find out how it got its name, why it was named, and the progress. And some streets have actually had names before what they are called now. So Burley Street, of course, got its name from James Burley, which was a mayor in Cambridge in 1799, but the same sort of thing. And you come from that, then you find out what shops were there or buildings, and any distinctive buildings, why does it look like that? Then you digging to find out why it's like that and stuff. And before you know it, you find out something else. Actually, you find out, oh, it's shaped like that because it was a pub. But that pub closed down and it come this. And
how do I do that? Like I go to my, forget Google. I mean, but I go to my local library, or do I go to my city hall, or how does that work?
We're in Cambridge. We've got different things. So we've got the Cambridge collection, where you've got an archive of all the city's information. We've also got another archive, which is people who lived in the city, born there, died there and stuff. So you probably go to places like that, like birth, deaths and marriages. You can find out about the people. And then probably a library, if they've got an archive there of the city's history, you can go there. And really that's about it. And well, that's what I used anyway when I first started out. And then I got to meet people, and you can also ask people as well. You could probably walk into a shop and say, how long has this shop been here and stuff, ask questions about it, or people who lived in the area, maybe a next door neighbour, an elderly next door neighbour who's probably lived there all their life could tell you fascinating stories. I grew up in Cambridge after moving from the city in a little village called Shepworth, and I lived there all my life, right up to I'm a bit older, sort of thing, from young age to coming early adult. And I lived there. And then one day I was walking through there, and this bloke goes, there used to be a pump here. And I go, I never knew that. So I even learning stuff myself. And people, I think people are a good source of information, especially if they've been there a long time. They could tell you a lot.
I remember doing a family tree when I was in grade 5.
Yeah.
So that was in 1974, something like that. So it was a while ago. So we didn't have Google or technology.
Yeah.
And I remember my mother driving me around to, and that's what we did. We went and knocked on people's doors and said, hi, we're doing this project, and can we talk? And I still remember this day, 2 of the places we went. The one little old lady, she was a little old lady back then, and she made us tea and we had cookies and milk and all that, and we just had an afternoon conversation. And the other one sort of did the same thing for a couple hours. So it's you find people, I mean, because times have changed, you find people doing that kind of thing.
Not so much.
Still welcoming.
No, not so much really. I'm a bit of a risk taker. I think out of the box. I just walk up to somebody. They either say they want to tell me or they don't, basically. So I'm that kind of person. But a lot of people are hesitant to ask people because the way society's changed, because it's more online. And it's people, especially elderly people, more hesitant now, especially where I live anyway. It's hard to get them to share stories. Sure. Frustratingly, I did know a few older people who used to sit there and tell me all these stories, but would never let me record them, never let me write it down. and never let me film them. And
does that make you wonder, like if there was any embellishing going on in the story?
Sometimes. I'll tell you what I have found out. I've interviewed 2 people who were at the same place at the same time, and their stories are completely different. But the thing is, they're both telling the truth because they both perceived it in different ways. And to hear that's like, because I saw this and I saw this, but they've told you the basic outline's the same, but the way of sometimes you get people's inside story, and that's fascinating as well. Like, okay, you both saw this, but you saw it like this, and you saw it like that, and it's wow.
Perception, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, perception. Yeah, so the way you received it's completely different.
Yeah, which is good to have, really. I mean, we always say there's 3 sides to every story: your side, my side, and then the actual what happened, right? But it's good to have those different perceptions, because then we can go, oh, geez, I never really thought about it like that. It gives us something new to.
That's right. Yeah, spot on. Yeah, like they can see it at an angle. Actually, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And like you were saying, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, so Now, outside of being the Cambridge historian, is there other parts of history in the world that you still enjoy, or is it just Cambridge as your? I know it's your number one thing, but
I do like history in general, but not. Yeah. It's not watch history programs. Strangely, I like crime documentaries as well.
Oh yeah.
Some of my friends get worried, like, you're not planning to kill me, are you?
Oh, okay.
I'm not planning to kill them, but the amount of crime programs I watch, because I think I've just got an inquisitive mind. Like I get told I can soak up information like a sponge, and I suppose I like finding out stuff, and especially, for instance, like, hey, the acid bath murderer, like how he got away with it because he burnt them, but actually he got found out because somebody had gallstones and the acid didn't burn their gallstones, and that's how he got pulled out in the end. And I find that stuff fascinating, bit crazy kind of thing. But
that's fantastic.
So I'm a big fan of Jack the Ripper as well. I've always been fascinated.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. That's probably a whole other show.
Yeah, no. I've always been interested by the theory that actually it could have been a woman, because none of the victims screamed. She could have been a midwife, so walking around covered in blood, and would have known how to cut people open as well.
Never heard that one before. That's interesting. Well, Mark or Fonz, I want to thank you so much for joining me. And I found my other guest. He's found his way in here, Mark. So we're going to go back to him. But before we go, is there a radio station? Like, can we find you? Can we listen to you online?
Yeah. I also do a radio program in the UK. This is 11 a.m. in the UK. I don't know what the time will be there. Okay. I'll let you work that one out later.
Sure.
But 11 a.m. in the UK. It's on a station called SG1 Radio. So if people want to hear it, they can hear it all over the world if they type in sg1radio.co.uk. And I play songs direct off the vinyl, original vinyl.
Oh, so, wow.
The way it's meant, as my tag says, is the way it's meant to be heard.
There you go. Well, you just found one new listener. As soon as you said vinyl, I'm in.
Yeah.
Fonz, thanks so much. And I know
thanks for having me.
You can you're 6 p.m. Your time, which I think is about 1 o'clock Eastern. That your show is on the Video Show Network every Monday now.
Okay, brilliant stuff.
Fantastic. Fonz, thank you so much. I'm looking more to...
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. I really enjoyed that. We'll have you back again for sure.
Okay. Speak to you soon.
Bye. Right. The Cambridge historian, Fonz. Yes, that's his real name, Fonz Chamberlain. He's over in Cambridge in England. And you can now watch him online on his Facebook page. But he's also now a part of the Video Show Network, and can watch him live here every Monday at 1 o'clock. Thanks again, Fonz. All right, we found him. We thought maybe he got lost or something. He's smiling. And there's Mark Perrin. How you doing, Mark? I cannot hear you. We can see you. Smile. I can't hear anything. You need headphones or mic or earbuds like these. I can't hear you. I don't know what else to tell you. I think he's trying. He can obviously hear me. Nothing there. Oh, he's gone. All right. Well, we tried. We'll try to have Mark Perrin here back next week because I have another live show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks to all my guests who were able to make it here. Heather Allen, she was here to talk to us about Goodwill. Some great information there. And a golf tournament coming up for the Goodwill, put on by and sponsored by Libro and some other great sponsors and community partners in there as well. And you just heard from Fonz Chamberlain over in the United Kingdom. He is the Cambridge historian. You can listen to him on sg1radio.co.uk. We'll have all these links. We'll put them in post here. And if you're watching and you've enjoyed the show, please type 10 down in the comments below so you know you enjoyed the show. And if you're watching this as a replay, please take a moment, type replay in there. Helps me figure out who's watching and what we can do to keep things growing around here as well. So thanks again, everybody, and thanks to all of my guests. As I said, we'll try to get Mark Perrin from Bluewater BorderFest back here next week. And so many great new shows. We have about 10 live shows from all over the world have now joined the Video Show Network. And there's a live show every day here. So we're on the show Sarnia page right now, but go over to the Video Show Network, TVSN World, and check out what's happening there. Like I said, 10 live shows happening every weekend. The word Deb is, or every week, sorry. If you enjoyed watching, type the number 10 in the comments. And if you're watching this as a replay, type replay. But you're here right now, so you're live. And that's, okay, now we're getting silly. If you enjoyed the show, type number 10. Thanks, everybody. I'm your host, David Burrows, for the show live every week. I do appreciate you watching. That's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. And I will see you next time right here on the show live. Bye-bye for now.